Billy Goat and myself stayed at camp here tonight. The Irish and Germans are about 5-10 miles back. Luna and Jukebox are a couple miles back. Stairmaster and North Star about 20 miles back. I don't know if there's a whole lot of people I know ahead of me other than Bear. But other than that, put in miles trying to get to Kent, Connecticut, and then to Great Barrington, Massachusetts here in the next 4 days or so. So we're gonna have a small resupply and finish up Connecticut and on to Massachusetts. Stay tuned.
Friday, June 23rd, and heading to Little Deli down the way, about 9 miles. Oops, tripping already. Gonna do a small resupply there, and then Kent doesn't really, might stop there. I think I can get a full resupply and continue on to Salisbury, Great Barrington, Massachusetts, in 4 days. So that's what I'm looking at this point, and keep you guys posted on how that goes. It's absolutely beautiful right outside camp. It just reminds me of Barrington, home, New York. And so far, other than just tripping out of camp, it's been a beautiful walk. My feet are a little sore still. It's been exhausting. I've talked to a few other people, the Irish and Australian guy that were hiking together, Nick. Just talked about feet hurting, the terrain changing, getting 15 to 18 mile days in and being, just exhausted with those days where we were doing, 20 pluses, no problem. So that's has changed, and so has the, I guess, maybe feeling of camaraderie. There's less and less people around. I made a short clip the other day of getting into New York and maybe seeing more family, and immediately, I had a response from my mom, and just chatted back and forth with some text messages, and it then led into your suspected or finished date, and trying to plan out that, because I'd really like to be back to enjoy Somebody-Cuca Lake before I go back to my teaching position. So this conversation, had been weighing on my mind a little bit as I hiked the last couple of days. Yesterday, I was thinking about what my options are and like what I should be doing. And it kind of came to the realization that I was kind of running away from, maybe some of the problems and issues that weren't being resolved at work. And because of the recent change, new leadership, and kind of a renewed opportunity to, I would like to say, finish out my career there. I've considered whether I need to go back sooner rather than later, would I leave the trail and start investing in the next couple of years in my career, and kind of set myself up for that. Question, maybe I consider going up and summiting Katahdin and then working my way back. That was another thing that had crossed my mind. If I wasn't able to finish on time, I do, want to complete the whole trail in a year. The intent is to do it from Georgia to Maine in one go. But if I run out of time, that means going back to Maine, which is, probably more convenient for me than some others, but it's still a little bit out of the way. So do I go to Katahdin and work my way backwards from here? And that means that I would have some portion in between Connecticut or Massachusetts and, say, Vermont to finish. So anyways, yesterday was the first time I considered, I think maybe for real, or maybe realized that I didn't need to complete it. Maybe wouldn't have to complete the trail. Something that kind of clicked yesterday. Oh, it's like a relief, sort of. You got nothing more to run from. I don't know. Maybe not that. Just walked right up on a fucking bear. Whew. Oh wow, that was fucking wow. Oh man. He was right here. My heart is thumping. He took off pretty good. Yeah, he was like right in here and shot up that way. I don't know if I got a tail end of him. I saw his head and then his tail and then his bouncing body. Pretty cool. Kind of circled around where that bear was heading, so I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled. I know I should be making a bunch more noise. Alright, so far I've seen a bear in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, and in New York. So let's just keep this average up. Want to state from here on out, I'd be happy. Thought I was never gonna see one. How you guys doing?
Good, yourself?
Not bad.
Good to hear.
What do you guys got going on here today?
Sticky sage treatment.
Oh, sage treatment. Very cool. Yeah, thanks for what you guys do. Lots of steps in New York. Up the cliffside, mountainside. Beautiful though. This is opening up to a nice stream down here, a river. Dry bed. The river goes on the other side of it. We're hoping that meets up here soon because it looks like it's gonna be pretty nice. We've been bouncing back and forth between New York and Connecticut for the last few miles, and I think tomorrow sometime will be the last time we are in New York and over the border of Connecticut for good. Now we're in the North Country. In the North Country now. Beautiful. Pretty strong flow. Just got off trail for a second, gonna go to resupply and see if Billy Goat and I can get resupplied and bypass Kent. Just stay on trail right through there and go straight to Great Barrington, and then that'll be our final destination for this map. Do a changeover, maps, recharge, do the whole thing. Probably try to do a Nero and get someplace to shower and do laundry. So that's what we're looking at, and we'll see if there's supposed to be a covered bridge coming up, so I wanted to show you guys that. Yeah, I guess it does. I thought we were a ways from Cat. Fancy covered bridge. Oh man, look at that construction. Pretty wild. So that's where we're heading, this BullsBridge country store. And going in a straight line. We can use a privy over here, I guess, if we need to. Whole resupply point, man?
Yeah, I didn't need much. I just finished eating.
Nice. Grab some resupply, some lunch, and it's raining. At least got to do 8 more miles, something like that. What? This is what I'm eating. Apple Danish, a Frappuccino, after a pint of ice cream, a ham and cheese sandwich, some Fritos, a Pepsi, and a Gatorade. Rain should be stopping around 2:30 or so. So I think I'm gonna wait it out. Billy Goat, she might take off and enjoy the rainy weather. It's only 8 miles to a shelter, but then 2 more miles into town tomorrow to resupply. So I'm not in a rush, but definitely don't want to be wet getting into camp. Cloudy up in the hills. Still continuing to rain. Not pour, but a consistent, steady rain, which I'm sure everybody's thankful for around here in Connecticut. Finally taking off from the country store. It did rain for a good 2 hours, about, and now getting back on trail. Trying to do anywhere between 5 and I think 9 is maybe 8 is the max before that shelter tonight. So the rain's pretty much stopped, other than what's falling from the drips and the leaves. As you look out over here, there's a mist, eye level and above, from the valley on up, that is 100% humidity. It's very wet out and sweaty. They're kind of exhausting. This grass is so wet that it's laid over the path, and it might as well be like walking through mud puddles, because that's how much water is collecting in my shoes right now. It's running right down my calves and shins and right into my shoes, soaked. It's only like 4 o'clock, but it's getting pretty dark down in here. Kind of spooks. It's around 5 o'clock. We're calling it a day today after probably about
15 miles, 15 or so. It got quite wet, and feet are pretty wetted out. Shoes are definitely soaked and drenched. And it's supposed to rain some more this afternoon, so rather than walk in the rain and set up in the rain, BG and I picked out a campsite. There's somebody else over here in the Durston next mid too. Nice tent, but I don't know if we know who it is. Anyways, camping out tonight. It's about 4 miles to Kent, Connecticut tomorrow. So probably up at a decent time, and then trek into town, try to do a resupply, and then get back on trail, barring good weather. So I think I'm gonna lay down for a little while and then make some dinner later. Get everything set up.